Man of Tomorrow is hitting the DCU in a couple of years, and we know some new superheroes are going to make their big screen debut in the DCU in that motion picture. But here are 5 characters that I want to see enter the DCU. Hi everyone, and welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and a fan of the DCU, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be talking about it and discussing it with you all for the foreseeable future. And right now, today, I'm going to be doing my 5 characters I want to see enter the DCU. There are absolutely more than 5 characters. Way more than 5 characters I want to see in the DCU, but I'm going to start today with my top 5, maybe not my top 5, but just 5 that I want to talk about today specifically. And I want to know what you guys think. What characters do you want to see introduced into the DCU? There's so many great DC characters that just don't get their due, and I've got 1 or 2 on here that have gotten their due, but I'm selfish, you know? I'm just putting who I want in the DCU in this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you want to see in there? What character have we not gotten on the big screen, or have we gotten but you just haven't felt got their due as of yet? For me, I've got mine, and we'll talk about them right now. My number 5 is Vixen, Mary McCabe. Vixen's first appearance was in Action Comics number 521 in 1981. Mary McCabe was an African supermodel who inherited the Tantu totem, a mystical artifact that lets her tap into the abilities of any animal. The strength of a rhino, the flight of an eagle, the stealth of a panther. Her backstory ties deeply to African spirituality and heritage, and her use of animals is something James Gunn would make great use of. In the DCU, Vixen could be a powerhouse hero while also expanding the universe beyond Gotham and Metropolis. She brings magic, culture, and global perspective, making her one of the most unique characters DC has to offer. Plus, she's tailor-made for the big screen with her animal-based powers. In some stories, Mary can even channel extinct animals, meaning she could summon the power of a saber-toothed tiger or a T-Rex. Imagine how wild that would look on the big screen. Which leads us to number 4. The Question could be Vic Sage or Renee Montoya. The Question first debuted in 1967, created by Steve Ditko. Vic Sage was a hard-hitting journalist who uncovered corruption by putting on a faceless mask and digging into conspiracies nobody else would touch. Later, the mantle was passed to Renee Montoya, a Gotham cop from the pages of Batman the Animated Series, who became one of DC's most complex characters. The Question doesn't fight aliens or gods. They fight lies, cover-ups, and the darkness behind the curtain. In the DCU, The Question could be the ultimate street-level hero, exposing the corruption that keeps the world of superheroes turning. They'd bring grit, paranoia, and a whole new layer of realism to the universe. Vic Sage's run in the 1980s was written by Dennis O'Neil, who turned the character into a cult classic, gritty, philosophical, and ahead of his time. And this one's number 3. Parasite, Rudy Jones. Parasite first showed up in Action Comics number 340 in 1966. Rudy Jones was a janitor who got exposed to radioactive waste, transforming him into a creature who can absorb energy. Not just Superman's powers, but even people's life force. Unlike other Superman villains who want to conquer or control, Rudy's just trying to survive. His hunger drives him, and that makes him as tragic as he is terrifying. In the DCU, Parasite is a chance to do something different with Superman. Instead of another city-destroying battle, we could get a villain whose pain makes us sympathize with him. A monster story wrapped in desperation. That's a Superman movie we have never seen. In later versions, Parasite even evolves to absorb memories and personalities, which could make him a terrifying psychological threat on top of his raw power, and something James Gunn and any other creative in the DCU could have a lot of fun playing with. 2 more to go, and speaking of 2, this is number 2. Stephanie Brown, spoiler, or Batgirl. Stephanie Brown first appeared in Detective Comics number 647 in 1992. She's the daughter of the low-level Batman villain, Cluemaster. But instead of following in her father's footsteps, she became Spoiler, literally spoiling his crimes by leaving clues for Batman. Later, she took up the mantle of Robin, becoming the first in-continuity female Robin, and eventually Batgirl. In the DCU, Stephanie is the perfect underdog. She doesn't have the training or resources of Bruce Wayne, but she never gives up. Stephanie represents the idea that Gotham isn't just about tragedy. It's also about hope and second chances. She's exactly the kind of grounded character James Gunn can turn into a fan favorite. One of the coolest things about Stephanie Brown is how she embodies perseverance in the comics. Even when DC editorial tried to erase her, First by killing her off, then by removing her from continuity, fans kept demanding her return. That grassroots support is the reason she's still around today, and it shows just how much people connect with her story of resilience. And the number one character I want to see brought into the DCU won't surprise many of you, probably will surprise many of you, but not all of you. It's a character, one of my favorite superheroes of all time, who's definitely, probably won't be introduced for a while, if ever. But we're going to talk about my number one, Hawkman, Carter Hall. In the comic, Hawkman's origin is all about reincarnation. Carter Hall was first introduced back in the Golden Age, 1940, as an archaeologist who discovers he's the reincarnation of an Egyptian prince. Every time he dies, he's reborn, cursed to live and fight across his. Over time, DC added his connection to the Thanagar, a warrior alien race, making him a fusion of myth and sci-fi. In the DCU, Hawkman could be a bridge between the ancient world and the cosmic future, a warrior with the centuries of blood on his hands. He's brutal, noble, and endlessly versatile. Honestly, he's a character who should have been an A-lister years ago. And of course, Hawkgirl is in the DCU, but I'm selfish and I just want Hawkman in there. And Hawkman being the greatest character of all time, Hawkman's story is so tangled that DC has rebooted him more than almost any other hero, which makes him perfect for a fresh start in the DCU. So those are 5 characters that I would like to see brought into the DCU for various reasons. Now, again, there are so many more characters that I would like to see brought in there, but I do think we're going to be getting a bunch of them. I think, Booster Gold is a no-brainer. We know Blue Beetle already lives in the universe. I think Martian Manhunter is coming up very soon. And we got Lobo and Supergirl coming up in that movie. What other heroes are going to come up from DCU? And I'm guessing with James Gunn, the lower tier characters are ones that are going to really be elevated to mainstream, much like Peacemaker. I'm looking forward to seeing what else he does with Bloodsport. I would love more Bloodsport, and I guess the first Bloodsport in the DCU, because the Suicide Squad is canon, but it is what it is. But I would love more Bloodsport in there just based on what he's done. I think James Gunn elevates these lower tiered characters better than anyone, and I think part of the reason he does that, like Peacemaker, I think one of the reasons why Peacemaker is so great is because he almost has freedom to do whatever he wants, right? It's carte blanche. It's like nobody really cares what you do with Peacemaker. Nobody's favorite comic book character is Peacemaker, right? So you kind of have a freedom, whereas with Superman, Batman, you don't have that luxury as much. And when you change too much of either one of those, social media now is going to rip you apart. So I think that's part of the reason why he's so good at it. But, you see with Guardians and whatnot, like he just elevates these characters that just have no right being mainstream movie characters, and yet they are. And now Groot and Rocket Raccoon are two of the most, and Star-Lord, Gamora, and Drax, they're just some of the most beloved characters in movies and in the MCU, and that's because James Gunn's first movie, second movie, and then he knocked it out of the park with a trilogy, and of course a Christmas special, and he just has it. But let me know your thoughts. What did you think of my list, and what would your list be for DC characters entering the DCU officially going forward? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and until next time, may be the master of your own universe.